So here we are. This is not a video with panel and wire sizes, but have links to some good websites. This is what I'm doing and what is working well. I will walk you through a couple of projects I'm doing and pass along some other project ideas as well. Here's the long and short of this video, and I will leave links in the description. I got 100 watt at 12 volt panels. The larger one is the Grape Solar. The taller one, I should say the wider one, the taller one is Windy Nation. Both are 100 watt at 12 volt, and these diaphragm water pumps. The one on the left is the 21 series, and it's a 3/8 pump. So you can see how much smaller it is to the one on the right, which is the 33 series pump. Both are Seaflow brand, very reasonable. The smaller pump you can get for $30-ish, $30, $40. The larger pump you can get for $50, $60. The solar panels are probably $60 each. That's on the cheaper side, going up into $100 each. But you can find them. These are some that I found for between 50 and 70. I don't remember exactly, but I know it was around there. The smaller pump comes with 3/8 barb fitting to attach 3/8 hose, I expect. The one on the right, the bigger one, that's 1/2 inch pipe thread, and then they give you the barb fittings. So then you got the 1/2 inch barb option. Added to this would be charge controller and batteries. So I'm gonna walk you through a couple of projects where I just have the solar panel directly connected to the pump and using it when it gets sun and it's pumping. I'm doing something with the water. Then I'm going to walk you through a couple of ideas that I have for some projects that then would convert into a charge controller and battery and more of an on-demand situation. So one of the projects I've got going on now is the water wheel, and of course it stops just as soon as I put the camera on it. I believe that is because a cloud came over, and this is not an on-demand. This is basically when the sun shines, it's pumping. So I've got the 100 watt 12 volt solar panel, and then I've got an extension cord that I almost scrapped, and that day I was like, hey, I need that. It was an entire extension cord with no ends on it. So I believe it's a number 12 wire, and I've just got this wired up, and it's really just so I can move the panel and put it where there's sun, because I've got a lot of trees here, as you can see, and in the wintertime the sun's real low, and it's not a lot of sun time, and it's a little different in the summer. It's wide open. So you got a little taste there of the other project. That's the fruit of the second project. So back to the first project. This is just a simple water wheel. I said windmill. Water wheel project, and I've got a basin, and the pump is pumping it. There's the pump, and it's just barely running. You can see the water is just barely coming out of there because the pump's barely running. It's got just enough sun to run, and you can see the water moving in there just enough. And then we come around, and this hose just keeps going, feeds that pipe, which then feeds the water wheel. So the water wheel is a project in itself, which I'll leave the link to the YouTube video that inspired this particular water wheel. I've been wanting to build a water wheel for probably the last 10 or 15 years, and have looked at all kinds of designs, and this was a really simple design, really simple to make. Even the bearing, if you will, didn't use a pillow bearing, which is really what you should use, but this is just a real basic bare bones design that works, and it's a yard ornament. Now there's a whole lot that could be done with this project regards to landscaping, and just by looking at this you can just think of the projects that could be made with that running water. So that's it for now. I will go over the second project a little later. One of the good things with this, the bigger pump, is it comes with this filter. And as you can see, it's working. Oh, watch out. That's gravity feed water right there. That's gravity feed water right there. Come on, let's try to do it one-handed. All right, and that's my shutoff valve. Alright, let's put that thing back in there. There it goes, and it'll come back online. Now it's putting some water through there. And here we go. So project 2 starts with this other panel, which is also 100 watts at 12 volts. And on this one I had a splitter so I could wire these up parallel, and I'd have 2 panels. And one of the things I could tell you about 2 panels, it doesn't make the pump run faster, but it will make it turn on sooner because it takes less light, because it's over the two panel areas. So there's more area to catch the light and then have enough amperage to run the pump. So I got it plugged in here. So I got a pump. This probably has been installed for a year, maybe more than a year. And as you can see, it's kind of outside. I had this barrel here in front of it to block the sun. And basically this particular pump, this is pulling right from the well. So you can see the pipe goes here and then over there, and it goes in the well. So it's pumping from the well into this tank. Right now the tank is more or less full, and I've got a float switch in there. I wired it to a float switch, so whenever the tank gets full, the water stops. So let's go look at the connection to the well. So here's the connection to the well. So basically there's a hose that's connected to here that goes through here and then down in the well about 15 feet. So there's water at about 6 feet, and this pipe here is about 20 feet long, and the well itself is about 32 foot deep. So I put that hose so it wouldn't be to the end of the pipe. So then the water that my house water, this pump right here, is pumping from the well, and it just pumps right around that hose, and there hasn't been any problems with it, so I haven't had to tune it up. All right, so now we've got that. So now I've got the water that comes out and goes underground, and basically I've got it so that I can use it, because I'm gonna irrigate that line. I'm gonna irrigate the opposite side, and I'm also irrigating over here. So if you remember project 1, which wasn't that long ago, okay, so I've got basically this pipe here, this pipe, hold on a second, this PVC pipe here is connected to my main line. My main line from the tank goes all the way to here, and I'm already irrigating this line here. So this is a gravity feed, and I just turn on one side or the other, watering all these clusias with just a micro sprinkler system. Working out good. These are all cuttings. I have not purchased one clusia. Got cuttings from somebody and been making clusia cuttings and hedges, clusia hedges. Okay, so let's continue. So this is connected to the main line here, and I've got a valve to turn it off and on. This is a line with just like a hose of gravity feed water. I do have it on, as you can see. All right, hold on, let's back up a little bit. This is to irrigate some trees, which I'll walk over to momentarily. Here is the water, the hose, which I showed you before, which I need to go ahead and put some water here in this reservoir here. And I do have a drip connected to the irrigation. You can see the drip. You can see the drip happening right here, and it's just a drip line. I can't seem to find it. I got it like under this plastic so it doesn't we don't step on it. Let me try to dig it out here. Oh, there it is. So it's just dripping. So over time it'll fill this up, and if I leave it on like all day, it'll just keep it full. But right now I need to go ahead and, because we've had a lot of rain, so I haven't really had this on at all. So that's just teeing off of that line, that 1/4 inch line, and then I have another water feature, so that just drips out of there. Same thing, it's just a drip, and it fills that bird bath up, and that is just an old well pitcher pump that I salvaged, and it's really just a yard ornament, and that's a piece of PVC that it's sitting on. So just a yard ornament, really. Okay, so one of the things I water is this banana, and it's just on a drip, and I'll just let it run for a little while. See if I can find it. Yep, I just let it run for a little while, and it seems to do the trick. And my little nursery, Auricas, those are all seed. Those are all seedlings that I got from those guys over there, and a bunch of seeds fell on the ground, and I just put them in a slat, and every single one of them sprouted. All right, so we're continuing here, and I've got this avocado tree that I water with that. That's gravity feed, which I can expand it a lot. Right now I'm really just selectively watering. And then I water this fire bush over here. And that's pretty much all that's hooked up to that. I have plans to put some water over here on this little section, which that's some ginger there. Oop, the pump, I guess the sun came out. You could hear the pump turn on. So over here I got some sugar cane that I will put some water to that as well in the future. So there you go. There's that's the second project. So now we'll talk a little bit about some ideas that I have for expanding this project, and also some other projects, and even some projects that would expand on this project, and maybe even talk about some other ideas that I have with a on-demand system, which would include a battery. Okay, so it's on now. This pipe is really just to take up some of the hole space, so I had something to tie this to, because I gotta put it at a certain spot just so it'll the float will save some water. Otherwise it'll overflow and or leave a few inches of space. So here's a couple other tanks I have. I've got 3 more tanks, so I've got 4 total. So I've got 1,000-gallon capacity, and I can hook these together, have 4 separate tanks, one tank all hooked together, 2 tanks hooked together. There's a couple of different ways I can do it. I collected these, and it's like all 3 have a different fitting, so I got a handle on it though. So here's the 3/8 inch pump, the smaller pump, and I had first gotten that pump, and this was a test, and of course the solar panel was pushing that pump no problem, and I had it directly installed, directly teed into the well pump line, and basically what it did is sucked all the water out of the line and then ran out of water. So that's when I decided to start looking into a different solution, which was the hose, which, as you can see in these photos, it's some reinforced hose, and I took that fitting that goes in the bushing, if you will, and I had a brass fitting with threads on one side, male threads on one side, male barb on the other. Is there a female barb? Anyway, the barb on the other, and what I did is I heated up the fitting, and I forced the threads in there, and got it most of the way in until it met the other fitting, and that seemed to work well, and it's been working well ever since.